and I just want to knock their teeth out every time I see them. Because I see somebody who's trying to act menacing, trying to be into evil, I want to go after them. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. These people know how to punch my buttons because I have a family, I have children, and people who wantonly are seeking after evil, wantonly trying to turn themselves over to it, that's the ultimate sin. I am just at a spiritual level totally set against them. And the Soviets were wantonly turned over to this. The Nazis were turned over to it. The Maoists were turned over to it. And I can look at the federal government and all of its trappings. I can tell it's turned over to it. When I see premeditated, conscious evil, I get angry. Now, we need to take our country back at the city, the county, the state level. And it's going to be strong, truthful rhetoric about the New World Order and about the issues that the globalists are bringing into our society that is going to turn the tide against these people. If we had some Hitlerian dictator, perhaps if they were removed forcibly, we could fix our society. But more often than not, you get something even worse than when that happens. This is a society where we individually have become corrupt and decadent and evil and turned loose of our government and allowed government to get out of control and allowed corrupt groups to get control of government. Violence is not the answer, and I've always taught that. First, they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they attack you, then you win. And there is no doubt we can fix this peaceably, but just as Robert Shapiro and countless other Obama's advisors have said in the news in the last year, they need an Oklahoma City or 9/11 event to make the government look like victims so that they can get the public support and get the moral high ground. They're so arrogant, they admit this, and they've been gearing everybody up, and they're getting the underwear bomber on the plane and protecting him. They're protecting Major Hassan. That's come out. I mean, all of this, they're protecting any type of lunatic, crazy, or mind control person they can. Now, whether this guy was under mind control or not, and it's simple. They grab you, they shock therapy you, they erase your memory, they pump you full of drugs, they pump you full of compulsions, they torture you under hypnosis, and then simulate that when you shoot this woman, when you shoot this judge, when you shoot these people, you will have the pain. It will go away. The fear will go away. That's one of the most standard Manchurian, North Korean style systems, perfected back in the 70s by the U.S. government. Been doing it since the 40s. That's just the low-tech way, and that's the one they usually use. They get somebody who's already kind of schizo, already screwed up. They fracture their brain up. A lot of times they'll have alter egos, alter personalities. This guy's got it. Devil worship, dressing up like a woman, loving communism, loving Nazis. I mean, just totally into darkness. There's a lot of dark flames out there, but it all comes from the same author, and these people always flap towards it. And I have seen them. I know who they are. They don't like the light. They don't like healthy fields of grain. They don't like beautiful streams and fat little Tweety birds happily singing. They like death. They like murder. They like pain. They like stench. They like skulls. That's why I don't like it when people wear skulls around me. It's because I know what it signifies. I know I got eons to lay in the grave, ladies and gentlemen. There's time enough for that. And I've seen enough evil. I've experienced enough evil. I've looked into the dark side. I've looked into the abyss. And somebody who's wearing symbols like that and into that, you better understand the media and the government and the culture. You go to Dillard's, you go to Walmart, you go anywhere. It's skulls all over everything in the last decade. And camouflage and military outfits. They are training you to get into this culture of death and destruction so you think it's cute and funny so you don't recognize it when it comes for you. There's time enough for the Grim Reaper. There's time enough for death. I want to drink from the cup of life. That's what I'm into. Creation, procreation, regeneration. There's time enough for death. There's time enough. There's time enough in the grave, in the tomb. And I am the enemy of those who love death. I am the enemy of those that come to hurt the innocent. And all of us need to make the decision spiritually, intellectually now. Do we serve death or do we serve life? It's an easy question. Got another abortion-loving, devil-worship piece of trash.
Not all protein supplements are created equal. One World Whey is the first cold temperature processed, 100% all natural, unrefined, bioactive, grass pasture raised milk whey protein. Far from being another ordinary protein supplement, One World Whey is a full spectrum nutrition power food in and of itself, providing overall life-building benefits that touch virtually every human's life that other protein supplements don't deliver on. What are the benefits? Boosts the immune system, anti-aging properties, helps detoxification, helps reduce body fat, excellent for building lean muscle, increases energy levels, enhances the feelings of youth, sports performance, exercise recovery. Who's it for? Busy people, hardworking executives, students, teachers, active seniors, people recovering from illness, office workers, construction workers, and high-performance athletes. Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld, WHEY.com.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Good day, Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources, January 10th, 2011. Gold opened this morning at $1367.40. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1402.91, $701.45 for a half ounce, or $350.73 for the quarter ounce. That's $1402.91, $701.45, or $350.73.
Again, the Congressional Budget Office sounds the alarm, warning of Greek-style U.S. debt crises. CBO is drawing a parallel between U.S. economy and the Greek economic meltdown. Debt to GDP climbing to unfamiliar territory and deficits rising to unsupportable levels. Hi, Ted Anderson. The Federal Debt and Risk of Financial Crises document the CBO has published is a must-read for every American. Covering the risks of deficit spending, aging population, and rising interest rates spells economic disaster. Call today at 800-686-2237. I'll send it free. Again, call 800-686-2237. Ask for the CBO document. Call 800-686-2237.
Your natural organic herbal formula for heart health is Heart and Body Extract.
My name is Van, and I'm 68 years old, and I live in Vermont. In the spring of 2003, I started to have problems with my heart. It felt like my heart was pounding, made me feel breathless. I tried many different things to try to get some help for myself. Nothing did anything.
Heart and Body Extract is very powerful, very effective, and works quickly.
I saw one of Sharon's ads and ordered Heart and Body Extract. I noticed a difference quickly, within days. The episodes became less frequent, and by a month had completely vanished.
Usually you find a 30-day or 60-day guarantee. Heart and Body Extract comes with a lifetime 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. Call 866-295-5305. 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Okay, we can learn a lot from what's happened. We do have Sheriff Richard Mack, who was a sheriff in that area of Arizona, who's got a lot of really deep intelligence and information for us on what's really happening. And by the minute, as we learn more, bottom line, they knew he was going to attack, and they let him at the bare minimum. They're keeping it very quiet about what's in all the letters and stuff that they got. And the sheriff, I've been watching him on television, the one demonizing the Second Amendment and free speech, he does not want to talk about what's in him. Only that he keeps trying to blame conservatives, and then when confronted on Fox News, he said he has no evidence. He's just giving his opinion. And you got all these calls to end the First Amendment, all these calls to go after the Second Amendment, to register all firearms in border states. That's New American Magazine today. The legislation's being introduced. But let's talk about what we do know. In the first hour before we knew anything, I got on the phone with Aaron Dykes. We wrote a story together where we said it could be a pro-abortion, an anti-abortion activist. But then I looked up that the congresswoman wasn't really pro-abortion, so I said that's probably not it, because they're one of the few groups that actually is grassroots, that's conservative, that will kill people. We just assess in the past who's done things, and you learn a lot from that. I said it could be a La Reconquista because she's doesn't want open borders, and it's been in the news in Mexico and the U.S. that there are bounties on sheriffs and members of the legislature's heads in Arizona and Texas, as well as New Mexico and California. But I went on to say, or it could be some kind of trench coat mafia type group, or it could just be a complete schizophrenic nutcase, or it could be a mind control operation. And we're still not completely sure, but this is what we know. We've watched all his YouTube videos. We've read his MySpace, his Facebook, all of it. And what we know is this is a guy who had multiple personalities, if anybody ever did. He thought he was a woman with one personality. People described him as being different every day. He thought he was a black magic warlock carrying out voodoo ceremonies with the skull and the oranges and the candles. That's what that is. He was a big marijuana rights type guy. He was a big animal rights type person. He was into the Communist Manifesto. Now, obviously, he's out of his gourd, whether it's artificial or not. So it's not 100% fair to say that this is because he's a abortion-supporting, devil-loving communist admirer who also likes to dress up like a woman. But, ladies and gentlemen, that sure is the opposite of what you'd call a Tea Party conservative. Have you ever thought of a Tea Party conservative dressing up like the Grim Reaper and burning American flags while playing very sadistic, watch the bodies hit the ground, watch the bodies hit the ground? I mean, stuff that, you know, adolescents get into to feel powerful. I mean, do you think that's what you think of as a Tea Party type person who thinks they're a woman one day of the week, a devil-worshipping Darth Sidious another day of the week, described by classmates at two different colleges as a super liberal, extremely liberal, very liberal. Those are all quotes. Super liberal, extremely liberal, very liberal. Does that stop the London Guardian, Huffington Post? Does that stop Politico? Does that stop CNN or MSNBC? Does that stop any of them from blaming Ayn Rand? I played that clip on the Sunday show yesterday. Ayn Rand. No mention anywhere of David Icke. We've checked. But because he talked about conscious dreaming, they said it's David Icke's fault and called him a right-winger. If you've got to use a left-right paradigm term, I would not call David a left-winger. I mean, a right-winger. I'd call him a left-wing kind of new age person, though that's not really a fair label. But the bigger issue is, why every time there's a tragedy do these people exploit it, despite the fact that the father of this poor dead little girl is out there begging them not to exploit this to hurt liberty? I mean, I have to hand it to this father. 2 days into this, I would be in such grief with my daughters, if one of my daughters had been gunned down. I would be in such abject grief off the chart, and he is crying in the interview, that I wouldn't be able to come on the air and defend liberty and freedom. I don't know what state I'd be in. This guy came out and said, look, I travel a lot. Look at all the liberties we lost flying. He's a baseball scout. And he goes, I don't want this to be used to take our Second Amendment or our free speech. But do the dirtbags care? Do the authoritarians who pose as liberals care? No. We're going to go through all of this coming up. and then get into this federal judge that got killed. This thing's looking like a mind control hit, and it's declassified. They've done it before.
We're on the